The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back at it. It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Steve being here because why? Because you thought of this thing 6 or 7 years ago. And I said, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
and we did it anyway.
And
well, what?
It freaking worked.
Well, I guess.
You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, the
for whom?
The hundreds.
Who did it work for?
Well, the community, right? I mean, hundreds of interviews. I don't know, maybe not 1,000 if we count. Lots of interviews.
Sure.
In the can. We've got a great audience. People like to hear from local organizations, local people, and kind of peel back the curtain, like our next guest,
Sure.
And getting to know people. And you and I chug along and tee it up for them, and they can talk about their business and their life and their
I'd like to see more new businesses coming on. I thought there would be more with Micron. Yeah. I thought things would be moving a little faster.
So maybe you're new to town and you are part of that Micron continuum.
Yeah, or a supporting business.
Reach out. You can send me an email. I'll return my emails, unlike Tom.
Yeah.
Steve at zoeadvertising.com. Love to hear from you. Or maybe you got another business. Let's expand it. Mm-hmm. Let's get some more fresh faces, not like the one in front of us here. All right, announce this poor guy, Tom.
Yes.
I know.
Abel Ramirez Gonzalez is the owner of Bayberry Uniform. He has an interesting story. He's a young man. How old are you, if you don't mind telling me?
I'm about to turn 30.
Okay.
Can you believe that, Tom?
Just a little under 30.
Just a little under 30.
That's great.
He's half our age, Tom.
Yeah. But you're still looking fresh and hopeful and all that. And I think part of that is because of where you're from and how you were brought up. Give your story in 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Right. Yeah, 30 seconds.
30 to 45.
Yeah, I'll give you a lower of that.
So, Tom, interesting thing. At this point, I've lived more years in America than when I grew up, because I moved to the United States when I was 14.
From?
Cuba. From Cuba.
Yes.
So
was it you come on vacation? Why'd you come from Cuba?
Oh no, I wish it was on vacation. No. I flee with my dad. We were persecuted for being Christians.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So at the time, we still had the embassy in Havana before they pulled everybody out, before the sonic attacks happened a while ago. Mm-hmm. So we were able to go to the embassy and request asylum from the United States. Think about how awesome that is. Imagine you live in the middle of nowhere and there's no hope, only you pray to God, and boom, there's an embassy that you can go and say, hey, I'm being persecuted because of my faith. Can you let me in? And they say, sure, here's a flight. We'll give you a one-way ticket.
What was the dominant faith back then, if it wasn't
social? In Cuba, believe it or not, is Spiritism. So a lot of African culture, religions, they're very influenced within the government, and then obviously Catholic, that's very prominent, but Christians as in evangelic type of minority in the country. They don't like that because Christians are known for vouching for what's right, and they have gatherings of large gatherings, and obviously the communism doesn't like large gatherings because they want to keep people isolated. That's how they control people in the communist regime.
Very interesting.
So again, we were able to go in and request asylum. We had proof that we were being persecuted. Me as a young kid, my dad has his own little church too at the time, and he said, listen, I'm being persecuted because of my faith. I'm afraid for my life and my family, and I would like to come into the United States. So they said, there was a series of, I want to say 2 years, interviews, getting the shots, getting the education, getting the paperwork. It's not like they just let you in.
Right.
It's a process. It takes resources too. You got to pay for all this stuff. And then eventually you do get here and they say, all right, now it's your chance to go make the American dream happen.
Wow.
And they actually give you an education on how to do that. So, I mean, fast forward.
Over the past 4 years, I would think it's easy to get in.
Yeah. Well, you did it the right way.
Yes.
Okay, you went through the process. So
right. How's that make you feel?
Yeah. So 2010, when was this? When did this happen?
2010, that's right.
Okay, I just did the math in my head. Tom can't do math, but I can. So it was a few years to get, and then you show up. Where'd you show up? What port?
So they basically said there's a bunch of cities that you can go into. Imagine, and they say, okay, you can pick where you want to go.
Right.
And then we looked it up on the internet and say Syracuse was one of the top cities to raise a family. Believe it or not, back in 2010.
Serious?
Yes.
That's
Well,
wild.
it's always
We made
been,
the top 10
yeah.
list in the country. So my dad said, hey, we're going to Syracuse. Didn't know the language, didn't have any family, didn't have any money, didn't have anything. We only brought the clothes that we were wearing, and we launched in an adventure to pursue the American dream.
So you get off the plane at the airport, like, okay, here we are.
Here we are, pretty much. And I'll never forget, because it was on October 19, and we're going down the plane on Syracuse Hancock.
Yeah.
And I could see all the colors. It felt like a movie, Tom. Imagine
Right.
you live in the middle of nowhere. You've never seen, anything beyond your own little village. And now you come to the United States and you see all these beautiful colors and the cars and the technology and the billboards. To me, that was the best feeling ever. And October 20th, the following day,
Yes.
it snowed. Well, it was like flurries. It was like flurries. But
So that was the
welcome
first
to
time you
Syracuse.
saw that.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
like a dream, man. Like a dream.
So you were
really
So
cool.
that is very interesting. So where did the So you own Bayberry Uniform and you're an entrepreneur. How did that happen? Like, how did you morph from showing up when you're 14 or 15 years old to here? Like, what were the next steps? This is a very interesting story.
Yes, and I think it's part of my life has been all about survival and pursuing things. And I knew that I wasn't cut out to be an employee because I grew up being told what to do.
Right, I see, yeah,
When
yeah.
I tasted freedom in America, I'm like, okay, this is the land of opportunities. I got to pursue my own thing. I did work as an employee for many, many years, but my mindset was always, I need to start a business. I need to do something. It started with real estate back in 2020, almost like a crystal ball. I got my license in February 2020. March is when the shutdown happened and the housing boom started. I had a great year in real estate.
So that was a great start.
That was a blessing.
So
huh?
with real estate, I started to make connection, meet people, meet business owners, like-minded individuals, entrepreneurs.
So back up a little bit. How is that different than living under socialism?
Oh my gosh. Think about it. You're being told what you can eat because you have like this passport that you take to the store and they mark down, hey, you already got your 5 pounds of sugar or your 5 pounds of rice, so you can't get another 5 pounds until next month. So being
Really?
rationed,
They do that for real?
even to what you eat in school,
Good
for example,
gosh.
in order to get your grades,
Yes.
you have to write your essays and whatever. It has to be about the revolution. And it's like thanking Fidel for everything that he did for you. And you have an education because of Fidel. So you're being told what to do, what to eat, what to think. I mean, it's just a level of control that people can't even comprehend.
comprehend.
So
Yeah,
when
I
you
can't
see
even
young
comprehend.
folks that are like New York City, the guy that's running as a socialist,
right.
and everybody's excited. How does that make you feel?
It's very disrespectful because a lot of people have died trying to make it here, and they flee this kind of conditions. And my question to them is, if you like socialism so much, why don't you go to a country that's socialist and
Live
lobby
there,
for them?
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
Does anybody do that?
No. They
No.
all, because they have the freedom to do it here, and they can still go to McDonald's, and on their way to the big protest, they're stopping by Arby's and getting their sandwiches,
And they're picking up their $12 latte at
Right?
Starbucks.
Yeah, it's nice to lobby for communism when you're living in capitalism.
So let's carry us over
golly.
to the next set. Abel Ramirez Gonzalez, owner of Bayberry Uniform, an entrepreneur and part of our community, and we'll run a few commercials and we'll come back. How's that?